Welcome to the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health's monthly magazine, Meeting of the Minds. I'm Karen Zarcidias. In this month's Mental Health Minute, the key to living a longer life is to love it. While studies have shown that living to a very old age could be in your genes, it could also be partly due to certain personality traits. A recent study focused on adults between 95 and 107 years old was published in the journal Aging. It found a positive attitude and a sense of humor greatly contribute to a healthy long life. Centenarians tended to be more easygoing, laughed more, and expressed their emotions instead of bottling them up. Researchers found that the oldest adults may be genetically predisposed to living longer and healthier, and that suggests a link between personality and your genetic makeup. Researchers say, though, no matter what, being more positive causes less stress and gets people on the right track to living better. Hope, wellness, and recovery is our department's motto. With more about what DMH is up to, here's a message from our director, Dr. Marvin Southard.
Among teenagers, mental illness and addiction often go together. For young people, the developmental task that they face is making and keeping friends. But when you're young and you're changing so rapidly, the process of making and keeping friends can be full of anxiety, and if it's not going well, it can cause depression. Sometimes young people will say, I'll have a drink, or maybe I'll try some drugs, and that will help. And it's a particularly enticing temptation when one's friends are also drinking and experimenting with drugs. But here's the problem. Alcohol use and drug use, even though they seem like they might alleviate anxiety and depression in the short run, in the long run, they always make anxiety worse and they deepen depression. The bottom line, whenever we see anxiety and depression in young people, we should be concerned about the issues of drug use. And whenever we notice drug use, we should be on the lookout for anxiety and depression.
Thank you, Dr. Southard. We like to share stories and tips on wellness and recovery on this show. With more about this in our Walk the Talk segment, here's Kathleen Pache.
Thank you, Karen. My guest today is Nettie Vasquez. There aren't many things Nettie Vasquez has not seen and experienced. She's an ex-gang member, recovering alcoholic addict, and has been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and bipolar disorder. Since getting treatment, Nettie has been unstoppable. She's a true leader. She currently is a peer and parent advocate, a public speaker, a Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health Older Adult Service Extender, a community volunteer service member, an outreach worker with troubled youth, a member of the Client Congress Advisory Board Committee, a wellness outreach worker volunteer, and is the co-founder of Angels on Call, a group of volunteers that goes out into the community visiting other clients to cheer them up during hard times. Once started on the road to hope, wellness, and recovery, Nettie's motto has been nothing is impossible. Her goal is to reduce stigma and motivate and empower others, especially in the Latino communities, by sharing her recovery journey. Welcome, Nettie.
Wow.
Tell us about growing up in a violent family and how you coped with that.
Well, I think like any Latino community, the usual is kind of what happens inside the home stays in the home. And I think I just cope by stuffing it in and not really sharing my feelings or situations with others, and just kind of bottled up for many years.
Kept it to yourself. Why did you join a gang?
I think I was trying to find something that I wasn't having at home. In the 6th grade, I found out that my father wasn't my real father. I was being adopted, and at that moment, not knowing how to cope with my feelings, I joined somewhere where I was actually accepted for who I was. And
Just like a family for you?
Yes.
Sense of family?
Yes.
What was your bottom? What do you feel like was the worst time for you?
The bottom was when I actually had to take my kids and drop them off to my mother's house after being homeless for 9 months, using drugs and alcohol, and just knowing that I didn't have any hope anymore, just kind of giving up.
So when was it that you decided to change everything?
Well, I don't think that I kind of decided to change everything, but the empowerment that was given to me helped me decide that. It was when the Northeast Wellness Center opened in 2009. A month later that I was given an opportunity to be the front receptionist, empowered me so much that nobody ever had gave me that opportunity or a chance or believed in me or seen anything in me that helped me just take it all the way to where I just didn't care if I died in that way. getting out of the gang. And a month later, here I am facing it, and I was able to get out of the gang and survive.
How did you find Northeast Wellness Center?
The way I found it was my daughter, my middle child, was receiving therapy at Hathaway, and she's ADHD. She has a mental disorder also, and they actually referred me to the Northeast Mental Health Clinic, and I actually went 3 times before I actually stood. But since 2006, I've been with Northeast.
What exactly is a service extender?
A service extender is where we kind of go out and reach out to the older adult people and kind of see if they're doing okay or what kind of help do they need, or if they have a mental illness or depression, and just kind of be there in any way where we can help them get on their feet and just observe that if they're doing okay.
How did you come up with Angels on Call?
The way I came up with that was that one of my peers, Elias Fonseca, was at the hospital outside, kind of scared, not wanting to go in when I arrived with my daughter to the emergency room, and being there for him, and just on a natural instinct base, kind-hearted, I was able to be there for him, and he was hospitalized, and I was homeless at the time, so I was able to stay with him every night, and he got released. 2 months later, I get hospitalized, and he was there for me every day and took other peers, to kind of cheer me up and stuff. And a few months later, here we are both thinking on an idea, something similar to that. And ever since 2009, 2008, we've been
you organized
this.
You realized how helpful that was.
Yes, it was, and it's just gone in various different ways. And we have our shirts and a group of volunteers, that have helped us out, being there for another individual or peer in any way we've been able to, and it's been a totally success. We even got an award last year.
That's great. How many angels are there?
There's about 42.
What do you think is the most important thing about your recovery?
The most important thing is that nothing has been impossible. It doesn't matter like the circumstance or the tribulation, trial, my mental illness symptoms intervene, being homeless.
Right, because you pretty much have gone through everything.
Yes, I have.
Kind of chronic situation you've overcome.
And nothing has been able to stop me. There's no reason or thing that can stop me. It's how we look at things and what we do with it, and face it and charge it. Doesn't matter how hard the storm is in front of you or blowing, you still keep charging.
So what would you tell someone else who is in the shoes you were in a few years ago?
That we don't have to really suffer. We kind of suffer because we really don't have the support or love or the knowledge of really knowing that there is help out there for us. And I think the first thing for us is to really accept if they have a mental disorder or a mental illness within themselves,
Right.
and start, allowing people to help them, because there's just so many help out there, and stigma can be one of the factors in our lives that kind of,
Absolutely.
Doesn't allow us to receive the help that we actually need and that we deserve, because we are human beings just like anyone else, and we can live a productive life, and to tap in themselves and find that strength, inner strength that sometimes we might need when someone else might not be there, and to keep going, because there is hope, and they are well worth it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and thanks for all the great work that you're doing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We need more angels. Back to Karen.
Thank you, Kathleen. And that's the show for this month's edition of Meeting of the Minds. To learn more about the Department of Mental Health and for more information about DMH's programs and resources, you can always visit the website anytime at dmh.lacounty.gov. You can also follow us on our Facebook page and watch our Profiles of Hope videos and PSAs on YouTube. Just search for the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health or LAC DMH. And if you or someone you know is in need of help, you can call our 24/7 access line at 1-800-854-7771. That's 1-800-854-7771. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.